Hello everyone, greetings of the day. So welcome to a new playlist, Front-End Development and Frameworks. In this playlist, we are going to cover from React topics, which is a part of your front-end developments. So now let us see what are the things that which are required for React. So this session is going to be only about the React introduction and some concepts, some basic concept about React. So please stay attention throughout the session. So the things which we need for React is softwares required. So now let us see what are the softwares required. First one is you need your VS Code editor. VS Code is nothing but your Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code IDE. IDE stands for integrated development environment. So IDE stands for integrated development environment. Now second one you need is Node.js. So Node.js is nothing but it is written in two ways, Node.js or Node.js. So Node.js is nothing but your runtime environment. How to check whether I have my Node.js or not? For in case if you don't have your Node.js, just go to Google and type as Node.js download. It will land you to the official page of Node.js. Here is the official page of Node.js. Scroll down, or else you have a download option here. If you click on this, your download will be started and your file will be stored in your file will be stored in form of extension file. And for example, I have my Node.js installed already in my system. To check with the version whether my Node.js is present or not, I'll be simply using this command called as node space hyphen version. Node space hyphen version. Right. We have got one of the version 24.12.0. So this tells you that my node is already present in my system, so no need to install. If you don't have your node installed in your system, then you need to install it again by using that. Now we'll discuss about the React. The first one most thing you need to have is your VS Code. VS Code is nothing but Visual Studio Code integrated development environment. Node.js must be installed, and third one is Git. Git is nothing but it is a version control management system. It is a version control management system. So what it does this, when you write a code, you will push the code into GitHub where it will be acting as a cloud, and it will store your code data, metadata and everything inside that GitHub repositories. Hub is nothing but is a centralized environment where entire things will be stored. So this is the very most important thing in your development part, and coming scenarios and coming development roles, Git is very much important topics which you need to learn. So it is Git or GitHub. So mainly Git. So for this to have your Git installed, you need to go and you need to install Git. So here it uses like Git. For that, again go to Google, Git install Windows. So here you will be having your official Git page. Here you can go and download for your operating system. For Windows you have Windows, for Mac OS, Linux and everything. So mainly I think so your people will use Mac OS and Windows. According to your system you can download it. Right. So the most and main things regarding coding part, we have these many softwares required. Now next one. Right. Now next. So what is React? Coming to our main topic, what is React? So React is a single page application. So React is a single page application. It is also called as SPA. Right? The next point. We told that React is single page application. What is meant by single page application? It is used to develop it is used to develop or it is we can say it as it is defined as it is defined as it is defined as a web page. It is defined as a web application. It will be good. It is defined as a web application that updates the pages or that updates the current web pages with data from server without a reload. So without clicking on reloading or without doing anything manually, a single page application, whenever a code changes automatically reloads. So this is how you need to remember this. So React is known as a single page application. And what is single page? It will the moment you change the code, everything automatically reloads. Now, the main important thing everyone think that React is nothing but a framework, but it is not a framework. React is a library. React is a library, but not a framework. But not a framework. Right. So this is the most important thing. Many interviews they ask this question. So they confuse us like anything like React is whether a framework or a library. So the main answer is React is just a library, not a framework. And the next one is React. The most important thing, React was developed by React was developed by Facebook community. Facebook community. So I think so. It was developed in 2013, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So sorry for if any issues, you can please comment it down. Yeah, React was developed. Just a minute, I'll be confirming. Otherwise. Yeah, it was developed in 2011 and officially it was in 2013, right? So let us keep our official date as open source date. So it was released in 2013. Okay, right. So yeah. So coming to our topics, so React is single page application. So it is why it is called as single page, because it code changes automatically, it reloads. So React is called as a library. It is not a framework. It was developed by Facebook community. Now next. So in React use different commands. Now before going to entering into different commands, you need to know the difference between npm and npx. npm versus npx. So what is this npm? npm stands for node package manager. Node package manager. So what does this node package manager does this? It is used to Node package manager is used to install, uninstall the packages. It is used to install and uninstall the packages, whereas npx, which is also called as node package execute. Yes. Node package execute is nothing but the packages which are installed is being executed by using dist folder, right? Yes, of course. It is used to execute. It is used to execute the packages. Okay. Now Before going to everything deep and everything, so in this session we'll be focusing on the main introduction topics. Before going to React and everything, we need to know about build tool. So build tool is nothing but it is an software automation tool. Software automation tool is nothing but software automation tool. It will be managing tasks. That means tasks are done automatically. Which type of task? For example, let us assume that you are writing a code. When you are writing the code, first you will analyze how does the code look like, and then you will compile the code. Compile the code. The next process what you will do, you will debug the code. After compiling the code, if any errors, you will try to debug the code, right? Now next, after debugging the code, what you will do, those errors will be resolved and you will execute the code. Right. After executing, what you will do, you will test whether the code is completely correct or not, or it has any errors or not. And next one, after testing the code, you will build the code. This is also known as packaging. So packaging is very important in this part. So you will first part is you will compile the code, you will debug the code, execute, test, build or package the code. The entire phase is called as a build tool. A build tool is nothing but it will from everything from compiling to building the code, all these phases will be done automatically without manual coding. So this is just a basic information that you need to know. Like build tool is nothing but a software automation tool. Like you can you don't require any manual access to compile the code, debug, execute and everything. It will do automatically. So in this case, in our case, in today's session, React is one of the build tool. And coming to different types of build tools, this one you will be learning about in your Spring Boot full stack application and development. Spring Boot and Spring everything. This is one of the another most important topic and one of the interesting topic too. In React, we have told about React is a build tool, but in Spring Boot we have different types of build tools such as Maven, Gradle. One more thing we have as Ant. So these all are build automation tools. So these all do everything itself. It will complete all the tasks automatically. Now next the thing is what to say. Everything is done. So React in this session, yeah. One more thing. Just a minute. So before going to start everything, so we need to just know about the client service architecture. Client service architecture. Client service architecture. So what is client service architecture is nothing but, let us assume we have a client and we have a client which is also known as user, and another one is we have server. So now client is going to access server in the form of HTTP response, right? Client is going to access the server in form of HTTP response. HTTP is nothing but it is a protocol used to communicate between two systems. In my case, client is one system and server is server side system by using HTTP, which is called as hypertext transfer protocol. Client is going to access server in the form of HTTP response hypertext transfer protocol and access the server or database. Server is nothing but, yeah, you can, just a minute, you can also you can write as database. Access the database. Client is going to access the server in form of HTTP response and access the database. For example, client wants to fetch the records in the table, or he wants to fetch records. What he'll do is he will first send a http request. This http request will then bind and send the response to the database. Once the data is fetched back, what will do, client will again receive back the response. Database database will give response back to the client. Here client is nothing but a user. If you don't understand that, if you people don't understand these technical words, please try to surf in Google and just know about it. It is not that much important. It is that much important, but this will be this will be important in your Spring Boot. Coming to your Spring Boot and everything, you will be understanding it better. So first we'll be discussing about React only. So just for today, I'll be giving an introduction about React. So coming to the session, the summary of the today's session is, before going to React, we want different types of softwares. That is, first one is your VS Code. VS Code stands for Virtual Studio Code. Sorry, Visual Studio Code. ID stands for Integrated Development Environment. So this is mainly used to perform your code structures and everything. This is a development tool code. Yeah, development tool. One most of the developers use. Second one is Node.js. What is Node.js? It is a runtime environment. So if for example, if you want to run any React application, then Node.js is mandatory. If you don't have Node.js in your system, unfortunately, you cannot run any React application. So if you want to download Node.js, if you don't have in your systems, just click on this link or type this link in the URL, and then you can download it. After downloading, one of the main important check you need to do is you need to check the version, whether you have the Node.js environment or not. For that, what you'll do, node space hyphen hyphen version is the command you need to type in command prompt. So for the short purpose, I have written as command prompt. So in command prompt, you are going to type as node space hyphen hyphen version. What we'll do is it will check whether your system has Node.js environment, runtime environment or not. If you don't have, it tells that it is not specified or not present. If you have, you will be getting version as something as version 24.12.0 or something like that. No, any version might be, it can be, but version must be present. Next one is Git. Git is nothing but is a version control management system. It is used to store the code to the host. It is used to store your code. For example, there are 3 members in a team where they are working on a project, and everyone is their own contribution. In that cases, Git is very useful. In such cases, Git is very useful, where one person can develop their module, they can push the code into GitHub, and the person can access the module. If they have any concerns, they can edit the module. In that way, development will become easier and efficient. Next, we have learned about React. React is called as single page application. So why it is called as single page application? It is nothing but, so for example, if I want to create a web application, so basically web applications will run in a browser. Yes, we all know that. So whenever I do some coding, I don't make reloading the page every time. So what happens is time only waste. So instead of that, single page application React itself updates the pages without any reload. Yeah, here I have written one more a small point to remember. As the code changes, it automatically reloads. Next most important thing is React is a library, not a framework. Many of the interviews ask this question. They confuse us like anything, like whether React is a framework or a library. Then confidently tell that React is a library, not a framework. So React was developed by Facebook community. Actually in 2011 they have developed, and outcome came was it was open source in 2013. Open source is nothing but they have tested everything, they have seen the result, they have developed, many people have worked hard, and then it came to the market in 2013. So yeah, just don't just blindly remember the dates, just remember the community which has developed that particular application. Now next in React, two most important commands which we need are npm and npx. What is npm? Npm stands for Node Package Manager. It is used to install and uninstall the packages. For example, if I want to install any package in the system, if I want to install any package in my application, then we'll use React and package name. Sorry, npm space package name. And npx is used to execute the packages. Node package execute. The packages that which are installed are being executed. Next, we have learned about build tool. So build tool is nothing but it is an software automation tool which tasks are done automatically. Yes, it is clear. These are all the phases like compiling, debugging, executing, testing, building. Everything will be done under one single task. That is known as build tool. So all the tasks are done. Tasks are done automatically. So one of the important point we have another discussed is that in Spring Boot we have one build tool called as Maven. So this is the most important build tool which will be focusing. So if time permits, I'll be uploading Spring Boot concepts too. If you are okay enough, then you can also check that videos. And now we have discussed about client service architecture, where client is going to access the database using HTTP response, which HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and access the database using URL. Access the database using URL. What is URL? URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. So Uniform Resource Locator is nothing but it is a tab. For example, in this is my URL. Here HTTPS is nothing but is a secure HTTP response where any hackers, any malicious attacks cannot be done in this HTTP URL. So here the client is going to access the server in the form of HTTP response by using the database. Now after fetching the record, database will give back the response to the client, and here how a client server architecture works. So in the next session we'll be discussing about the React project structure and everything and a small application, how to run a React application. Thank you.